Hello and welcome to SourceCAD. In this video, I'll show you the step-by-step method of making this simple doorknob using Solidworks Revolve feature primarily. Now, before we start, I want to share this free practice drawing ebook with you. Now, this ebook is absolutely free and it contains several practice drawings just like this one in 2D as well as 3D. So if you want to download this ebook, just click the link in the description and it is available in PDF format. So now with that, let's get started. So I'll start with the sketch environment. So that's right here. So go to sketch and I'll start with front plane. Now the first thing of course here is line tool and I will start with this origin. So I'll just click here and I'll just click like that. And I'll just start with only the base shape. We'll add the details later, but that's our base shape. Now with the base shape done, we can add other details. So let's add dimensions. So from this point to this, the dimension is 6 unit. That's here, done. Now the height, this entire height is 12. Let's just use that as well. All right. And then we have this distance from this point to origin along this direction, 9 unit. All right. So we have got this fully constrained. Now it's time to add the details. So the first detail is the circle. I'll add the circle right about here and I'll add another circle randomly on this line. Now we'll trim the part that we don't need, but let's first constrain it properly. So I'll go to smart dimension and it has a radius of 1, so diameter of 2. All right. And then we have this one with diameter of 1 unit and just click OK. All right. Now the distance of this one from center is 5 units. So let's apply that distance to from this point to this and I'll just add it in horizontal direction like that. It should be 5. So 5 and done. And finally a chamfer. So I'll go to sketch chamfer. I'll add it here. Now the chamfer length is 1 unit. So let's just change it first. So I'll just make it 1 and press the tab key. Let's just select this line and this one and the chamfer is also added. Okay. Now we can just trim it. So let's go to trim entities and we need to trim this entire thing and this part here with these 2 lines and we are done. So that was all we needed. Now after chamfering and removing all of these lines, it looks like some of the drawing just became underdefined. That will fix, but let's add this part also. So I'll go to line and I'll add the line here. Now this will be the groove and for that we'll add the dimensions. So from here to here, this should be 4.6. All right. And then we have this distance that is 2.8. All right, that's done. Once again, a little bit of trimming is required. So trim entities and we'll just trim this part. And now it looks like we have several features to take care of. So I'll go to center line. I'll create a center line connecting this with this one here. And now we'll use the center line for revolving the feature. Also, I'll ensure that this and this point, they remain horizontal. All right, now that already constrained several drawings, but we still need to add a few dimensions here. So let's just go to smart dimension and I'll constrain the center here. So from this point to this, that 5 unit dimension. All right, done. And we also need to add one for this one. So this and this, they should stay perfectly vertical. So maybe I'll just press escape key a couple of times. I'll select the center of this circle and this one, and I'll add the vertical constraint. Now this will ensure that, well, it stays vertical. Now there is a free motion on this line, and that's most likely because of this part. So we need to constrain this distance. Let's do that. So I'll go to smart dimension, and from this point to this, we need to add the distance of 6 unit, which was missing. So we've added that. And we also need to ensure that this distance from this point to this point right here stays at 8. So that's added and done. So with that, now this should remain constrained and I'll try moving it and it is not. So yes, the drawing is almost fully constrained. So it's not moving, and with that, I'll now exit the sketch. Now, if you want to, you can add more constraints on all these other geometries to maybe fully define this drawing before converting it into 3D. So I'll exit out of the sketch and I'll simply go to feature and revolve boss base feature. Now this will convert it into this knob shape right out of the box. Click OK and done. Now we just need to add few details here, and to add the details, once again I'll go to sketch and I'll select the front plane this time. So here is the front plane, and now I'll make the feature right here. So for the feature, once again, I'll go to line tool and let's start adding it like that. So from here to here and like that. Okay, now I need to just make sure that this is vertical. So I'll just select it and I'll make it perfectly vertical like that. And we'll add all the other details. Well, the next is this line and this. They should remain collinear. Okay, done. And now the length. So this length is 5.35. All right, that's done. And the distance of this point from the center, that should be 9. So I'll select this point and this, and I'll ensure that this distance is 9 unit. Now we also need to add this angle. So select, and this should be 18. So 18 and okay. All right. So that's also done. And now this sketch, as you can see, is fully constrained. We just need to add a center line, and we'll use this center line to revolve this feature as well. So let's exit out of this, go to feature, and instead of selecting this revolved boss base feature, I'll now select this revolved cut feature because we want to remove it from this part. So I'll select revolved cut, and with that, let's just click OK. All right, now apparently it may look like nothing happened, but when you orbit your drawing, well, this will be the case. So it has revolved the feature and also it created this cut. Now we can just replicate this feature everywhere. And to do that, well, I'm going to use the circular pattern. So here we have the circular pattern, select it, and in the features and faces, I will use this revolved cut feature. All right, that's selected. Now for the direction, we just need to select a circle, and maybe I'll just select this edge, and that's the direction. So it will just revolve it around this circular edge with this center of this circle as the axis. All right, now we just need to add number of objects. So the number of objects should be 12. So here we are, and we've got these 12 objects. With that, click OK, and we are done. Now all we need to do is add fillets to smooth these edges. Let's go to fillet here. And here I'll select this edge. Now, as you can see, when making selection, it is really difficult and it's going to just take some time to select all of these. So instead of selecting it like this, I will simply select the face. So I'll just remove the edges and I'll just select this face. Now selecting this face will ensure that fillet is added not only here, but also on this edge where of course we need to add the fillet. So I'll add that, and here also we can add the fillet, but here we just don't need to add there. So I'll simply select this edge now. So we've got a face and then an edge selected. Now I'll also ensure that fillet is added right here. Now again, it will add it on all these faces and including this edge. So we've added it everywhere. Now we just need to add the fillet value of 0.2 units. So the radius set here is, well, 10. That's not the one we are going to be using this. So that should be 0.2. And as you can see, we now have the fillet preview as well. Now, after adding this fillet, we can add fillets on all of these separate edges too. So here we need to make the selection manually one by one. So I'll quickly make this selection. And we are done. So with that, let's just click OK. And here we have fillets on all the edges. And that's the doorknob which we need. Now if you want to maybe add material here, you can do that as well. So material is right here. Right click and go to edit material, and maybe let's say this is made with zinc. So I'll just go to zinc alloy, and also it's usually made with zinc or sometimes with aluminum as well. So maybe if you want to use aluminum, well, you can use that as well. And maybe 1060 alloy, apply and close. So there we are. So we've got the material applied here as well. And that's how you can create this doorknob in Solidworks.